Hello friends, I am Dr. Deepak Garg. I am an orthopedic surgeon and today we will discuss about posterior approach to acetabulum, and this is also called as Coker-Langenbeck approach. So this approach is mainly used for open reduction internal fixation of posterior lip of acetabulum fractures, fracture of posterior column, juxta and infratectal transverse fractures with associated posterior lip fractures. So if we talk about the positions, there are two positions described for this approach. One is a lateral position. This position is mainly used for fractures of the posterior lip and posterior column fractures. And another is a prone position. Prone position is mainly used for a transverse fracture of the acetabulum, because if we keep the patient in a lateral position, then the femoral head will have a tendency to go medially, so it will become difficult to reduce the fracture in lateral position. So we prefer prone position in cases of transverse fractures. So let's talk this approach in a lateral approach. So let's first mark the surgical landmarks. We will first mark the greater trochanter. So this is a surgical landmark that is the most commonly used. Then we mark the skin incision. So the skin incision is we start from just below the iliac crest, and we go towards the center of the greater trochanter, and then we go 10 centimeter below the greater trochanter. So this is our skin incision. So once we take the skin incision, we cut the subcute in line with the skin incision, and then we have the fascia lata. We cut fascia lata in line with the skin incision. So this is how we cut the fascia lata in line with the skin incision. Then we have this so let's just first understand little bit about the anatomy. So this is a tensor fascia lata muscle superiorly, and the iliotibial tract inferiorly and distally. Then this muscle is a gluteus maximus muscle. This is a gluteus medius muscle, and then we identify the interval between the gluteus maximus and the gluteus medius muscle. So this is the interval. We identify the interval between the gluteus maximus and the gluteus medius, and then we do the blunt dissection of the gluteus maximus muscle. So we insert a finger or with a mop between the gluteus medius and the maximus, and then we retract the gluteus maximus posteriorly. So during the retraction of the gluteus maximus, we may have numerous bleeders that will come into our way. So we have to catch the bleeders and ligate the bleeders, so that we will be able to achieve hemostasis and bleeding will not be much. So let's just again identify the muscles. So this is a tensor fascia lata muscle, gluteus maximus, gluteus medius muscle. This is a rectus femoris muscle. So once we retract the gluteus maximus posteriorly, then we have in front of us the external rotator muscles. So let's again identify all the muscles here after retraction of the gluteus maximus. This is a gluteus medius muscle, and then we have this is a piriformis, this is a superior gemini, and this is an inferior gemini, and between the two is a obturator internus, and then distally is a quadratus femoris muscle. So these are all short external rotators. As we can see here, this sciatic nerve, this is a sciatic nerve. So we can see that sciatic nerve is lying posterior to the external rotators except the piriformis, and it is lying anterior to the piriformis muscles. So in this approach, we will try to preserve the piriformis muscle. We will detach the three muscles, the obturator internus and the gemini muscles. So once we cut these three muscles, so we can see that the sciatic nerve is lying posterior to these muscles. So once we cut and retract these muscles, so we will be able to retract the sciatic nerve along with these muscles, and then we will be able to make some space inside the greater sciatic notch safely, where we will be able to put Hohmann. So using the short external rotator muscles as a cushion, we can carefully insert a retractor into the greater sciatic notch. So this is how we can put the retractors in the greater sciatic notch, and then we identify the lesser sciatic notch, and safely we will try to put another retractor into the lesser sciatic notch and retract the nerve with external rotator muscles in front. So once we do that, we will be able to expose the posterior part of the acetabulum and the hip capsule. So this is a hip capsule. So if we need to cut the hip capsule, we can do a T-shaped capsulotomy, and if we want to inspect the hip, we can do expose the hip joint. Otherwise, we can just identify our fracture site here, and we can do the fixation as and required. So this is a exposure to the acetabulum. So this was about the posterior approach or the Coker-Langenbeck approach to the acetabulum. So for more such video, please like, share and subscribe to our channel. So thank you guys. Thank you very much.